Well, howdy, and thanks for tuning in to Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV, presented to you each and every week by our friends at Dakota Community Bank and Trust. I'm Wild Bill. I'm the media director here at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame in historic Medora, and along with Tisa Peak of Dakota Horse Magazine, we bring you stories from the rodeo trail and beyond each week here on Dakota Cowboy, and we have a lot of fun doing it too. Thanks for watching. Now, if you've been watching NDRA rodeo action here on Beck TV this season, it's hard to believe that the season's coming to an end, but we're going to wrap it up with a bang. We've got one more big rodeo to go, and that's the 2023 NDRA Finals, which are coming up September 23rd and 24th from Watford City. If you can't join us in Watford City, you can be sure to catch the action right here on Beck TV. Again, that's September 23rd and 24th. You know, here at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, we have memorial benches for several people around our facility. This one in particular is for Naomi Russow. And Naomi passed away a couple of years ago, and we greatly miss her. She left a legacy behind. She was instrumental in starting the Medora Rodeo, bringing that back to life, that Ranch-A-Rama. And her daughter, Emily Vernland, has written a book about courage, about mental health, and it has a tie to 9/11. We're going to visit with Emily coming up on the program today. You're going to want to order her book. It is truly a moving segment coming up on the program today. Also, Tisa Peak over Cowboy Christmas. She spent some time at the Dale Paulke Arena in Mandan for Mandan Rodeo Days. She visited with 4 rodeo athletes, professional rodeo athletes, who are doing quite well. In fact, Levi Lord is one of the persons that Tisa talks with, and Levi is currently sitting second in the world standings. Tisa also visits with Coleman Proctor and also Summer Kozel and Brittany Diaz, who's originally from Mandan, North Dakota. And one of her horses, Rudy Dasher Dude, was inducted into the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame in 2022, and Brittany gives a great, moving, emotionally charged acceptance speech, and that is our North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honoree Inductee of the Week, Rudy Dasher Dude, owned by Brittany Diaz. It's all coming up on today's program, and we'll wrap things up today with our Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week. So call up the neighbors and tell them to turn on Beck TV, because Dakota Cowboy started a couple of minutes ago here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust, and we'll be back in just a jiffy.
Man has worked in sync with Mother Nature since the beginning of time. Relying on her to provide sufficient moisture every growing season is a roll of the dice. You can now insure your pastures and rangelands with Rainfall Index policy available from Chamely Financial. This will give you the peace of mind by knowing you will be protected from the adverse effects of Mother Nature. Contact Chamely Financial today, 719-338-3428, or go to chamelyfinancial.com.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Unique gifts, an assortment of beautiful jewelry, and much more can be found at Dakota Territory Jewelry and Gifts in Medora. Montana silver necklaces and earrings, Black Hills gold and sterling silver jewelry, many Native American made pieces too, and a selection of art pieces. They carry healthy products made right here in North Dakota, and to satisfy your sweet tooth, fall in love with the best fudge around and the freshest taffy made right in the store. Buy it by the pound in a variety of flavors. Dakota Territory Jewelry and Gifts in historic Medora. Wild Bill here for Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic of Dickinson. Recently, I tore my meniscus, and after an MRI, doctors gave me 3 options: prescription meds, reoccurring injections, or surgery, which wasn't guaranteed to rid me of the pain. Then someone suggested I try soft wave therapy. Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic of Dickinson are skilled in this innovative treatment. After a few treatments, my pain went from an 8 down to a 1. See if soft wave therapy is right for you. Contact Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic today.
Whether you have guns, ammo, vehicles, toys, or collectibles. Consign with Last Chance Auction and we can help put money in your pocket. Give us a call at 334-SOLD or visit lastchancesd.com for upcoming auctions.
Hi, Rich from Law Motors. 45 years ago, Dad started selling cars. 35 years ago, I started selling cars. And 15 years ago, Tyler started selling cars.
And I'm Mom, and I told all of them, just be nice.
JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision has built a reputation as one of the most reputable and reliable body shops in this region. With nearly 30 years in business, customers count on JR's to get it done right the first time. They'll work with your insurance company to smoothen the process. From their 40-foot frame straightening machine, Sickens paint, and the latest technology in the repair industry, they're the only name you need to know. For auto, semi, RV, and trailer repair, it's JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision. North Dickinson, call 701-483-6778. JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision. We are so appreciative of Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Dale Paulke, Katie Handy, and all they do for our TV show. They present Dakota Cowboy each and every week here on Beck TV. We are just outside the Elvin Nelson Memorial Arena on a memorial bench for Naomi Russell, and there's a reason that we're here today because this is Naomi's daughter, Emily.
Hi.
So good to see you.
Thank
Emily
you for having
Burnland.
me. Thank
Oh,
you.
wonderful
Yes.
to have you. Emily has written a book, Finding Perspective Through 9/11, a single mom's journey through depression, death, lupus, and finding the will to survive. And we're going to tell you how to get this book. It is so amazing. It's a story of courage. It's the story of heartbreak. It's the story of grieving. It's your story. First of all, your story begins in the Kildare Mountains on a ranch. Tom Murphy, your dad, and Naomi Russell, your mother. You grew up on what was growing up with Seth and Lizzie and your family? What was that like?
Very, very chaotic. We come from a big family. As you know, my dad has 8 sisters, and they all have many children. And so growing up, we always just, we're so used to having family around. You know, we always had that. And almost everyone in my family was involved in rodeo. As you know, my dad was a very good rodeoer. Seth and Lizzie were also. I never had the, whoops, didn't mean to touch my mic, but I never had the rodeo gene.
Didn't have that gene, huh?
No.
Never even had a desire to see how fast you could tie a goat or go around a barrel pattern?
Truth be told, I never understood the idea of why I would want to jump off a horse running at full speed. That's never been something I've wanted to do. And when my sister, who was a national champion goat tire from North Dakota, which was very exciting back when that happened, but she was trying to train me one time back in the day, and when I tried to dismount, my foot got caught in the stirrup, and I was like drug all around the arena. So
that did it for you. Okay. Probably saved your dad tens of thousands of dollars too, right?
It did, yes, it did. I think Mom and Dad were both secretly happy when I was like, I don't want to rodeo. I don't want to do this. But I loved going. I was always there. And I would always go to sing the national anthem, you know? But no, I just never had the rodeo competitive bug like that. But I love the lifestyle, the environment, the people that I got to meet by just tagging along with them.
Yeah.
So it was magical to grow up like that.
You know, your singing career is how you first came on my radar when I was on the radio and you were going to perform at Carnegie Hall in New York City.
Yes.
And that's where I learned of Emily Murphy back then as a singer, and now you're a singer-songwriter, something that you'll find on our social media page. We've got so many things to cover today that we're going to get right into this book here. But first of all, at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, a lot of your family, friends, and your Uncle Dean is in the Hall of Honorees.
And my Uncle Phil, my mom's brother,
Yep.
he was an honoree or however.
Were you at his induction
Yes,
ceremony?
yes.
He was very emotional. I can see how that runs in your family,
yes,
the
big
emotions.
Yep.
So, and your mother, Naomi, she was at a lot of the events that we'd have here at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. She was very instrumental in getting the rodeo brought back to the Rancho-Rama Arena here in Medora. And talk about your relationship with your mom.
You know, we were so blessed to have a mom like her. She could make the most boring thing the most exciting thing in the world. She had a place out here in Medora, and she named it Mayberry.
Oh, really?
Yep, she named it Mayberry. And like when she would take the grandkids, she would pack up and do these picnics and take them out on the Ranger and have little hats for them to wear, and she would dress up in little outfits just for a day of picnics, you know. And she had such a magic to her where she could make anything amazing. And the best way to describe my mom is she has this sign, or she had this sign in her home where all it says is celebrate everything,
which it says on the memorial bench.
Yep, and that's my mama.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Oh gosh.
She knew how to celebrate life. Yes.
Okay. She passed away 2 years ago, but prior to that, all of a sudden, you were stricken with a disease. You explained it to me that lupus is kind of like your body being allergic to itself.
Yes. It started with my first year of teaching. I just got really, really sick, and everyone thought it was just because I was a teacher in a school around kids. You know, it's common to get sick when you're around kids. But anytime I would get a sore throat or anything, every time like clockwork, it turned into pneumonia, and I'd be hospitalized. And there was a period of about 8 months where I was hospitalized 6 times.
Oh my.
And I was losing clumps of my hair. My joints would swell up really bad. I get this beautiful butterfly rash all across my face. And it was incredibly painful. And what's hard about autoimmune diseases is most of the time they're invisible. You can't see it. You can't see what's going on. So while I was doctoring for years, a lot of people didn't believe me, and that's very common in the autoimmune community. Even doctors suggested I go to a psychiatrist. When I had 104 fevers, I had rashes everywhere. I couldn't walk. At one point I had to walk with a cane because I was in so much pain.
My goodness, my goodness. And while all this is going on, your mother was diagnosed with breast cancer.
And she died less than a month later.
Less than a month later she died, and you're still dealing with lupus, and that had to been extremely painful. The grief had to just been, you know, along with the debilitating disease as you've had, and losing your mom like that so suddenly. Talk about that. It's got to be just awful. You
know, it was amazing that because I have such an incredibly supportive family, during that time everybody was out at the ranch surrounded. We were all surrounded with so many people who loved us and were there for my siblings and I, and so that part we made it through, you know. But it wasn't until the dust settled, when you start going back home and you realize that my mom is gone, you know, that's when for me my mental health plummeted. And I've always battled with depression and anxiety my whole life, and some people always ask me why. How could somebody like you have depression? That's said to me all the time, right? Because I'm happy or whatever. But depression doesn't discriminate, and I believe that you can be born with it. And mine just started to take over, and I was kind of having a hard time seeing the point of life anymore. Wow.
Wow. We should mention too that this story is about mental health. The book talks about that and how you overcame best you could to strengthen yourself and become a strong, courageous businesswoman in the city of Dickinson and things. But backing up, back to the story. Your mother passed away, I believe it was October 2021, 2 years ago. And on the anniversary of her passing, you, as you described it to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said you wanted to shock your grief. You wanted to shock that date, and you booked a trip. Talk about that.
Yep, and it wasn't quite at the anniversary. It was a couple months prior.
Okay.
But it was like around July, August.
Okay.
And then, but yes, I was so sad. I was spiraling. I was struggling, and I'm a mother, and so that on top of it was hard, because you don't want to be feeling like that, you know. And so I was just struggling so hard, and I knew that I was trying to find something to shock my system to get out of that sadness. So I had this most fabulous idea that I was going to go swimming with sharks in Mexico. And then that fell through, and because they canceled it there for some reason. We weren't allowed to, like Americans weren't allowed to go there for some governmental thing. And then I had a dream. And
talk about that dream, that beautiful, fabulous dream.
This is the part I always warn people that we're entering crazy town, but just bear with me. My mom came to me in a dream, and she told me that I needed to go to New York, which I love New York. As he mentioned, I sang at Carnegie Hall there. I've been there many times. I love New York. But my mom came to me in a dream because I was devastated that this Mexico trip fell through. Like, I felt like my mom was dying all over again because I was holding on to it to shock that grief. And when that was canceled, I fell hard. And then my mom came to me in a dream and said, you need to go to New York. I have something waiting for you there.
And that's all that the dream said. And so you followed up on that. You booked your trip the next day, right?
At 5:30 a.m. and I am not a morning person.
Okay.
I booked the trip I had no idea where I was staying, no idea where I was going. But I don't know if you've ever experienced something where you are well aware that you're kind of losing your mind, but I was just leaning in. I was just fully leaning in, here we go. And I went to New York.
You went to New York. Back up a moment. 9/11, how did that tie in with your trip? You became friends with one of the victims of 9/11's wife, and you know, his name is?
Brian Sweeney.
And we've heard stories of Brian Sweeney. He's the one that left his wife a voicemail and very calmly said, I'll see you when you get here, meaning that he knew he wasn't going to make it. But you befriended his wife.
Julie is her name, yes. Julie Sweeney, I messaged her on Facebook after I had already booked my ticket because I heard that voicemail, because after when I knew I was going to New York, then it registered that I was going to be there during the 9/11 memorial. So I started watching every documentary, every single thing you could see on it, because I needed to then experience something that was sadder than what I was feeling. And I've learned that that doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but something that's been really cool since I started sharing my story is a lot of people who have lost someone in their life. They know exactly what I mean when I say that. I needed to be around people who were just as sad, if not sadder than me, so I could see that they survived. And so I became obsessed. And I have ADHD, so we have a thing that's called hyperfixation, where when we become obsessed with something, I'm not saying that lightly. Like, I watched every documentary, everything, every podcast, you name it. And when I heard that voicemail from Brian Sweeney, I still remember it. It was like a lightning bolt where I felt like I knew him. And I didn't know him, but I felt like I knew him. And I just had this feeling that was like, you need to contact his widow. You know, and so I found her on Facebook, sent her a message. The first thing I said was, I'm not crazy. I didn't hear from her for 4 days. Like I said, I still had my ticket booked. I packed my bags, and the night before I flew out, she contacted me and agreed to meet with me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, your description of the 9/11 museum in this book is very clear, very precise. I've never read a description of a museum any better than what you depicted here in your book. And you know, you would think that that was the reason why you went to New York, but it wasn't. There was another sign that your mother wanted you to see. Talk about that.
And the majority of the time when I talk about my book, I do focus on the mental health side of it, because that's such a huge component. I want to be an advocate for that. But at the time, this was when my lupus was at its all-time high. It was, my flare-ups were constant every day. It hurt to walk. It was just in pain constantly. And ironically, I was in a cab, and the cab got cut off, you know, and all of a sudden we came up over this hill, and excuse me, I'm going to cry. The sun was setting right behind this big, fabulous sign, and it said Lupus Center.
Wow. Wow. And that was why you believe your mother told you to go to New York. Visiting the Lupus Center, did that change your life, Emily?
Yep. I went there. I saw so many other people who were just like me. They had all the same symptoms that I did. They had all the same problems, and they were living full, happy lives. They were getting treated. They were getting help. And the doctors there just believed them. They just believed them, you know? And so I went and spoke to the people there, got the information I needed to be treated as a patient there. And yeah, it was incredible, actually.
Wow. Do you still stay in touch with Julie Sweeney and the folks at the Lupus Center and all? Do you?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep, Julie and I are very good friends, and she's a hero. She's a hero for what she survived. And I still feel so incredibly humbled that she even took the time out to respond to me.
Yeah,
you know, she didn't have to do that, and she did.
Oh, the book is Finding Perspective Through 9/11, a single mom's journey through depression, death, lupus, and finding the will to survive. You are a survivor, and I do think that's how you're going to be remembered. Now, another goal that you have, Emily, you want to share this story. If somebody's watching and they want to have you come in and speak to a group, no matter what that group is, everybody can use a story about encouragement and things. That's something that you're really wanting to do, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And I know now because I go over this in my book too, but like when I went to New York, I had a really cool moment of being saved by Jesus Christ, and now I'm living my life for him. And it's just been laid on my heart in the coolest way. And you hear these stories from other people who've been saved, right?
Right.
But it never happened to me before. And now when I say I know this, like it's just been laid on my heart that I need to share this. This is now making sense why I've gone through some of these struggles, because now I need to share it.
Is there any questions that I haven't asked that you would like to share with our viewer today?
I do just always want to give a shout out to the 9/11 community. When I went there during that memorial, they welcomed me with open arms. And all of those people there are heroes for what they survived, how they picked their lives up and carried on. And I went there, you know, with kind of woe is me, look at all my problems, right? When you're stuck in that mindset. And you go there and see what they survived, and here they were hugging me. You know, they were hugging me while I was crying about my mom. And it made me view humanity in such a better, wonderful light. And I will always, always, always give a shout out to that community and how wonderful you all are, and you are all heroes.
A lot of the pages of the book describe the 9/11 Museum in vivid detail. Please purchase the book, and gosh, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Your heart is amazing. What you've done is amazing. You continue to fight the good fight, and we're very, very proud of you, and I'm proud to call you my friend.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. This is Dakota Cowboy on Beck TV. We're presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust, and we are back in just a moment.
Sitting by the fireplace doing nothing is still doing something.
Share the memories with a new fireplace from Keller Hearth and Home and Heat and Glow. No one builds a better fire.
From sleek to modern design, we sell warmth, comfort, beauty, and relaxation.
Find the right style for your life, along with smart control options.
With over 50 burning models on display.
Visit our showroom today, Keller Hearth and Home and Heat and Glow, on the Strip Mandan and North Dickinson, where every day is a home show.
Hi, my name is Jeff Gould. I have a story called America's Story. I'm going to be doing it Valley City on October 20th. It's the East Greets West North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame fundraiser, and I hope you can make it. It's going to be a great time.
We'll begin at 5 p.m. on October 20th with a social dinner and a lively auction right after Jeff Gould presents America's Story. Tickets available now at NorthDakotaCowboy.org. East Greets West with the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, October 20th at the Valley City, North Dakota Eagles Club.
The dictionary defines community as a group of people living in the same place or sharing common goals. Community is the largest part of our name, and we make it the largest part of our business. We support our local schools, organizations, youth programs, and local events from Bowman to Bismarck, because we all share a common goal to better the quality of life in our communities. Come bank with us at Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your real community bank.
Medora Boot and Western Wear open year-round in historic Medora. You'll find quality items for cowboys and cowgirls of all ages. Medora Boot and Western Wear has over 1,500 pair of boots on hand at all times. New this year, the R. Watson brand of boot, featuring an all-leather heel, riveted shank, and a 10-iron leather sole. Jeans, shirts, hats, caps, and more, and customer service is #1. Medora Boot and Western Wear in historic Medora.
Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Securian Financial Advisors of North Dakota is now Lux Wealth Advisors. In our current climate, planning for retirement can be scary. Let the experienced advisors at Lux Wealth Advisors take the worry out of wealth planning. Lux Wealth Advisors can work with anyone, from those looking to invest their first dollar to those transitioning into retirement. Let Lux Wealth Advisors be your guide. Lux Wealth Advisors, new name, same great service.
Hello and welcome to the MHA Interpretive Center. It's the perfect stop along the Lewis and Clark Trail and the cultural hub of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation. Nestled along the shores of Lake Sagagawea in Newtown, North Dakota, 1 mile west of the Four Bears Casino. You can enjoy amphitheater performances, art exhibitions, and educational workshops utilizing our Living Cultural Center. Enjoy some coffee, browse our gift shop, and learn about the original people of this land. Learn more at mhanation.com/interpretive center.
We are back with Dakota Cowboy on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. And we are at the Mandan Pro Rodeo. It is Cowboy Christmas, and I'm with a Dakota favorite, Levi Lord. Levi, can you tell me what it's like coming home to the Badlands circuit?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, growing up here, I went to all these rodeos watching with my dad, and then when I started out, he was my partner, so we came to all these rodeos ever since I can remember, and I always try to make it over here to the good ones, you know, so to come here and do good in front of people that I grew up around and that kind of have followed me, it's pretty cool.
I think everybody's following you. I got 2 little boys that follow you all the time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember when I was those kids, you know, so whenever I can come back here, it's crazy to say that I'm kind of like not older, but to them I'm older, and kind of maybe they look up to me, so it's pretty awesome.
What do you think of this new arena in Mandan?
Oh, what a beautiful facility. It's always been one of my favorite rodeos, and now it's definitely going to be one that everybody's going to want to come to. It's a great arena they set up here.
That's what I thought. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. So you've been on the road, you've made the NFR, and you're in the hunt again. You're going.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about life on the road that people don't generally understand, how truly hard it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's you see stuff like this and the runs we make tonight, but that's just a small part of it. You know, it's
4 seconds.
Yeah, it's definitely a very small part of it. You got to keep your horses right, keep your rig together, keep your money together. So there's a lot that goes into it, but not much we'd rather be doing. But it's definitely a business, and you got to get all your stuff together to make it work. So it's a full-time job.
Was there ever a moment in your career where there was, you know, you always roped good? Did it take that consistency, or was there a switch that flipped?
I think for my career, you know, everybody's different, but I just gradually kind of got better. I feel like I started out, you know, high school, rodeo and all that, and then being on the rope with my dad whenever I first turned 18, just coming to these circuit rodeos, kind of learning how to win, you know, and he's obviously rodeoed, a veteran, yeah, and gave me a lot of throws, and so roping with him for 3 or 4 years was a good experience, and then it was kind of time for me to move on. We thought I could, you know, this is all I wanted to do, so thought I could go ahead and make it to the next level. So then I started kind of roping with some younger guys, and now I've got a partner that either just dreams of roping with. He's an amazing header, so it's been pretty cool.
And how's your relationship on the road? How's that go with your partner?
Oh, it's good for me and him. You know, it's tough for some people because you spend so much time together, but we've been friends for, you know, 6 or 7 years now. He lived with me for a while, and so we were friends forever, long before we started roping together. We roped as second partners at all the rope-ins. So it's easy for us. We could miss 10 in a row, and on the 11th one, we'll both ride in there like we can win it. So
that's awesome. So I know you got to take care of your horses and get on the road, but one last thing. You know, there's a lot of kids that look up to you. They want to follow rodeo. You grew up in this circuit in Sturgis, South Dakota. What can you say to them about the opportunities that are here? They don't have to be in Texas. What can you say?
No, and now that I've grown up and kind of seen, you know, I was the same way when I was their age. I'd see the kids in Texas with the big rigs and the nice horses and going everywhere, but I made it, you know, for just a kid from South Dakota. Didn't ever come from too much money or anything like that. We just rode the horses we had, and which I always had some great horses. My parents did a good job keeping me mounted as good as they can. So just that, you know, you can do it. It's possible. I'm proof of that. So just stick with it. Don't matter where you come from, you can get where you're going if you just stick with it and stay consistent, and you'll get there someday.
I think those are the best words I've heard all summer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Levi, so much. And I'm with a special team roper, Mr. Coleman Proctor.
Hello, thanks for having me today.
Coleman, thank you for being on the show. You drove all the way up from Texas. You're on the rodeo road. But the best thing I see about you, we all know you rope amazing, but it's your sense of humor and your positivity that I think attracts people.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, one thing about it, like we rodeo, and you know, a lot of times we're 2 time zones from home, and I've decided years back that I don't think my wife likes it when I call home complaining about how I'm missing a steer, and she's at home, you know, balancing the job and the kids and everything else. So I thought, man, it's going to be a short window of our life, so I'm going to really try to enjoy it all and just kind of keep a positive attitude, because at the end of the day, you're going to have wins, you're going to have losses. I mean, that's just how it is. And the only way you can bounce back and get back in the groove is if you're upbeat and happy. I mean, that's what's always worked for me, so that's what I've tried to keep going with.
And it's made kind of a following for you. Did you ever think you'd be a comedian? I mean,
I'll be honest with you, I don't even think I'm that funny. My wife definitely doesn't think I'm that funny, but we have a lot of funny things that happen to us out on the road, and I think people miss that. They don't understand, they see us for a few seconds here, beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, and then they may not see you again until you're, at the national finals. So it's kind of fun to get the behind the scenes, what's going on, like, oh my gosh, I had a flat, or, this went wrong, or that went awry. I can't believe, just all the weird stuff that happens to us throughout the night as we're traveling and everything else.
Yeah, usually
so
at 3 in the morning.
That's exactly when it happens, when nothing's open. So you try to be as prepared as you can, but it always makes for a fun story. And then there's a lot of stuff that happens at my ranch that, I got 2 guys that work for me there, Ace and John Wayne, and we have a lot of fun, and we tear a lot of stuff up. And I think a lot of people do that, and it's something that everybody can relate to. And I think that's why a lot of people have enjoyed, following my Toter Tales and everything else, is because it's all stuff that happens to everyday people, and they see that, yeah, it actually happens to us too.
Well, and you know what? We're up here in North Dakota, and we relate. There's no difference.
Absolutely.
It's funny.
One thing about the Western way of life is it's the same for all of us. We're all fighting the same battles. We're all looking at, market prices, the way the way feeders coming up and down, or, the way the cattle prices, fluctuate. And so it's kind of fun to see we all have the same, hard work ethic and the same things going our direction. But we always have kind of the same amount of fun too.
Or broken barriers, legs.
Amen to that. Well, I tell you, that'll make your Cowboy Christmas turn into getting a lump of coal in a hurry. I promise you that.
Well, you're not letting it.
No, we're having fun. We're just going to travel all night tonight and get to Oakley, Utah, and try to finish on strong there. And that's just how it is. We travel a lot. There's a lot of risk involved in this game, and so you just got to keep it light and keep it fun and keep enjoying every moment of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, from the Dakotas and up here, there's a lot of kids that look up to you, including mine. And showing up at this rodeo means so much. And I just want to thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And
where can they follow you?
I've got a couple of Toter Tales, got its own Facebook deal, and then I got my podcast going now, and we're back in action this summer. Hopefully, my partner, I'm going to make him be on it whether he wants to or not.
Okay.
And but yeah, so the Facebook, Instagram, and all the social media stuff, plus the YouTube page.
Coleman Proctor, follow him. You won't go wrong if you want to laugh. We are here under the chutes at the Mandan Pro Rodeo Days, and I am with a Dakota favorite, Summer Kozel. Summer, can you tell us about your Cowboy Christmas?
Well, it's been a little rougher than I would like, but we just keep plugging along one by one, and you have ups and downs and just keep moving.
So most barrel racers or pro rodeo people that have been following obviously know you've had a whirlwind of a year. You are on your way to your first NFR.
Well,
but can you tell us a little bit about your horses and being on the road as a full-time mom?
It's very trying, more emotionally than physically, even though there are a lot of all-night drives. I've done well enough, I guess, to keep going up and down the road. Yep. But I've done a lot of 17-hour drives straight back through to home, and then turn around and go again, trying to not miss my kids' stuff. So it is very trying emotionally and physically, but more so emotionally. So you kind of just got to keep your faith and keep moving.
So your faith, is that mentally how you're keeping yourself strong and healthy?
Absolutely, yes.
How about your horses? What's your key there?
My horses probably get taken care of better than I do on the road. I use a massage gun.
Like a Theragun?
Yep, before I run. And I also use a beamer. And then I just really try to keep them fit. I believe that if you have a horse fit, it's just easier and they stay healthier. They're not struggling as much, just as if a human were to go sprint and they hadn't been sprinting, you're going to be sore. So I really try to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to keep them fit and sound and feeling good.
Perfect. So you're a little closer to home right now. You've been away all year. What's it like to get to come back on the 4th of July and rodeo closer to Mobridge?
It's fun. The part I enjoy the most is just seeing people from our circuit. There's a lot of people that I don't get to see unless I'm at a local jackpot or at a circuit rodeo. And I love seeing all of my friends from just here. It just makes it a little bit more enjoyable.
Well, they all love you, as do I. Thank you, Summer, so much, and
Good luck. We will catch up with you in Vegas. I know that's going to happen. And we have a hometown favorite, Miss Brittany Diaz. Brittany grew up south of here.
Yep.
This is your hometown, kind of, right?
Pretty much, yeah. We're only 25 miles south, so.
And you and your husband, Isaac, entered these Cowboy Christmas rodeos up north.
Yep.
So just tell us a little bit what it's like coming back.
We love it up here, and the crowd in Mandan is like no other rodeo. Like, it's amazing, and I know it's a new facility, and it was always with the high grandstands and everything, but it's pretty incredible, and they're just good rodeos. Our circuit rodeos are good rodeos.
They are. You've been at our circuit rodeos, the finals, how many times? Umpteen times. You still come back.
Yep.
Now, you're adjusting with family life and being on the road, and you're really into the fraternities and derbies on these horses.
Yep.
So just tell us a little bit, update Brittany Diaz.
The horse I'm running tonight was a horse I ran a few years ago. He's owned by a Driver Cattle Company, and I just got him back a few weeks ago, but I got my younger horses. We've been doing the fraternities. I've actually this last year got to run Rudy, the mare that took me to the NFR. I rode her first 2 colts this last year, and it was a lot of fun. They did great. And
what's that like? Do they have bits of her personality?
They really do. Both of them were actually polar opposites, but they both had certain qualities that were a lot like her. The one I have right now, the Streak of Fling out of her, is super gritty and reminds me of her a lot. Yeah.
That has to be so special.
It is.
And
yeah.
Isaac puts the first rides on them?
Yep. He breaks most of our colts. Now he breaks all of them. We had sent a few off from years back, but now Isaac's been breaking all of them, and he does a really good job. He's easy for me to ride behind, and we can bounce ideas off of each other, and it just works good when we do it every day, in and out, so it works out good.
Well, we miss you dearly up here, but she has a big fan base that's waiting for her to run barrels. Good or bad, they are cheering you on, and we look forward to following you.
Thank you, Tisa.
Thank you, Brittany. And we will be back with more Dakota Cowboy on Beck TV.
Since the beginning of time, people have gathered around a glowing fire to tell their stories. Keep these fires burning with a Yodel wood or gas-burning stove. Stop in today, Keller Hearth and Home and Yodel Stove on the Strip Mandan and North Dickinson, where every day is a home show.
Hi, Rich from Law Motors. 45 years ago, Dad started selling cars. 35 years ago, I started selling cars. And 15 years ago, Tyler started selling cars.
And I'm Mom, and I told all of them, just be nice.
Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson is a family-owned dealer with expert staff that know their products front to back. We stock over 150 units of all types and can custom order a trailer with the unique features and capabilities you require for brands you can trust. Our experienced service team is the reason we're also the best place to have your trailer customized or repaired. Count on Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson to keep you hauling.
Man has worked in sync with Mother Nature since the beginning of time. Relying on her to provide sufficient moisture every growing season is a roll of the dice. You can now insure your pastures and rangelands with Rainfall Index policy available from Chamley Financial. This will give you the peace of mind by knowing you will be protected from the adverse effects of Mother Nature. Contact Chamley Financial today, 719-338-3428, or go to chamleyfinancial.com.
JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision has built a reputation as one of the most reputable and reliable body shops in this region. With nearly 30 years in business, customers count on JR's to get it done right the first time. They'll work with your insurance company to smoothen the process. From their 40-foot frame straightening machine, Sickens paint, and the latest technology in the repair industry, they're the only name you need to know. For auto, semi, RV, and trailer repair, it's JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision, North Dickinson. Call 701-483-6778. JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision.
Whether you have guns, ammo, vehicles, toys, or collectibles, consign with Last Chance Auction and we can help put money in your pocket. Give us a call at 334-SOLD or visit lastchancesd.com for upcoming auctions.
For more than 70 years, farmers and ranchers have relied on Dickinson Ready Mix for all their concrete needs. Whether it's a shop building for machinery storage or paved feedlots for your livestock, grain bins for on-site grain storage, or precast pads for automatic cattle waterers, Dickinson Ready Mix has been there to provide quality concrete for all your agricultural structures and infrastructure. For your next project, call Dickinson Ready Mix to discuss the benefits that concrete can add to your operation.
Since the beginning of time, people have gathered around a glowing fire to tell their stories. Keep these fires burning with a Yodel wood or gas-burning stove. Stop in today. Keller Hearth and Home and Yodel Stove on the Strip Mandan and North Dickinson, where every day is a home show.
Hey, we're looking for ideas for our next commercial. Thoughts?
We have a fully stocked lot. Cars, trucks, SUVs?
Clearly.
We strive for honesty, transparency, and a better buying experience.
Of course we do. Guys, think, everybody's busy. Nobody has time to spend hours shopping for a car. Has to be simple, easy.
Sales, service, simplified.
Perfect. Torgerson Auto Center, East Bismarck Expressway. Sales, service, simplified.
And welcome back to Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. It's time now for our North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week. This segment is brought to you by our friends at Torgerson Auto Center on East Bismarck Expressway in Bismarck. Winter's coming. If you need a vehicle to get you through the North Dakota snow and ice, check out the inventory at Torgerson Auto Center. You can find them online at TorgersonAutoCenter.com. Find them on Facebook. Better yet, stop by their lot on East Bismarck Expressway in Bismarck, Torgerson Auto Center. In our previous segment, Tisa interviewed Brittany Diaz. Brittany's originally from Mandan, North Dakota. And in 2022, one of her horses, Rudy Dasher Dude, was inducted into the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. And Brittany gave a very, very moving acceptance speech for that honor. And you can see it for yourself right here, right now, as Brittany's horse, Rudy Dasher Dude, is the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week.
Rudy, or Dasher Dude, was born on the Roth Ranch in Glen Ullin, North Dakota. Dwayne Fleck bought the filly for $800 for his daughter Brittany. Brittany broke Rudy and trained the mare to barrel race. The little mare, only 14 2-hands tall, was intelligent and athletic. She figured out the barrel racing quickly and won the first jackpot in which she competed. Brittany took Rudy to the North Dakota Rodeo Association and the Northern Ranch Cowboy Association rodeos. She proved to be competitive, and the duo qualified for the NDRA and NRCA finals 2007 through 2009. Rudy was the reserve champion barrel racer in both associations in 2008. In 2008, she filled Brittany's Women's Professional Rodeo Association permit at her first ever professional rodeo. The team went on to qualify for their first of 9 consecutive Badlands Circuit finals, where she was twice awarded Badlands Circuit Horse of the Year. Rudy won the Badlands Circuit in 2009 and qualified for the Canadian Finals Rodeo in 2010. In 2011, big wins from San Antonio and Omaha helped Rudy become the first horse from North Dakota to qualify for the National Finals Rodeo, where she finished in 14th place. Rudy remained competitive through 2013, and in 2014, Rudy finished the season in 5th place in the WPRA World Standings. She won 4th in the average and 6th go-round at the NFR. She was voted WPRA's Horse with the Most Heart and won the 2014 Reserve AQHA Horse of the Year. Rudy was the 2014 CPRA Reserve Champion and the only American horse to win the Canadian Professional Rodeo Association Horse with the Most Heart. Rudy sustained an injury in 2015, giving her a 20% chance to compete again. She came back in 2016 to win the WPRA rodeos and compete in inaugural season of the Elite Rodeo Association. In 2017, Rudy made her last competition run, having over $570,000 in career earnings. Horses like Rudy are once in a lifetime. She had a huge heart and ran to win. Accepting the 2022 Rodeo Livestock Award, please welcome to the stage, Brittany Diaz.
Thank you to everybody that did vote for her, all the trustees and everyone that got her nominated. It's quite an honor to stand up here and talk about my equine partner. She was phenomenal. And here with me today is my best friend in college. Her mom is here, Bev Krell. My husband Isaac, Jody and Keith Kautzman, Ron and Glenda Gross, and my parents, Dwayne and Terry Fleck, of course, and my little kids, Whitley and Reese, are here with us today. I guess I didn't write anything down either. I'm not good at following notes. If I wrote them down, I would get lost anyways. So Dean's going like this right now. I'm sweating so bad, I probably wouldn't have been able to read it anyways, but it's pretty easy for me to stand up here, though, and talk about Rudy. horses like her are once in a lifetime, and we all just hope and pray we get another one like her again. Probably will never happen, and there never will be another one, but I want to share with you guys a little bit about some of the stories with Rudy. You all probably read her accomplishments. She was 14 two hands, born in Glenolin. Leslie and Joanne Roth were the breeders of her. Her sire's Texas High Dasher, her dam April Del Dude, which is cowbred. My dad purchased Rudy at a sale for $800, which in itself, if anyone knows the caliber of horses, you can't even touch them. One of this caliber for around $200,000 nowadays. Some of the barrel horses are selling for over $1 million, and it's insane. And I'm blessed to get to stand here because this little mare had so much heart. She ran in both big and small pens, mud, hard ground. She actually won a bunch of rodeos in the mud. It was pretty incredible. She holds the arena record and always will hold the arena record in the old Greeley Stampede arena. They've changed the arena since then. She ran a 16.94. And that is a standard, which is one of the biggest arenas they could run on, and she also holds arena records with a 12-second run in some of the smallest arenas in the United States. She's 22 right now, and honestly, I thought about bringing her because she's in North Dakota with me, but it was supposed to be 100 degrees today. I didn't think it was fair to make her stand tied around here, but she is doing really good. We are getting colts out of her. We flushed some embryos, and this year I'm competing on her first 2 colts that I own. Her first colt has won over 67,000 just its maturity year, and now I'm running 2 of them, and they both remind me so much of her, but not her, of course. She always did everything big. She tried so hard all the time. She did everything big, and she was crabby. She was not a friendly horse. But that comes with having a horse like her, and that's why she was good at everything she did, because she was tough. I remember before the 4th of July rodeo in Mandan one year, I went to cinch her up, and she was really cinchy. She would bite. And I had her checked through numerous times, thinking maybe something was wrong with her. Nothing was wrong with her. She was just crabby and mean sometimes. But she didn't like attention. She'd stand in the corner of her stall, didn't want to be pet on very much. She's a lot kinder now today than she was at the beginning of her career, but I went to saddle her before we ran, and I cinched her up, and I was actually talking to a couple people and wasn't paying attention to her, and I went to cinch her up, and she got a hold of my arm and pulled back, and it hurt really bad, and I had like a blood clot on my arm, and everyone that was standing around, which some of you guys know them here, but I won't say names, they were like, why don't you belly kick her? And I was like, I can't, because she will run over every barrel out in the arena if I do. She just was smart and tough, and she really would have. Like, she just has that personality. If you got after her, she would come back 110%, just always above. And it was one of those things you couldn't take out of her, so we never did, and it made her great. Every time she was in the arena, she'd run super hard. In Bremerton, Washington one year, I was done running, and I was leading her up the hill. There's a big hill in Bremerton you have to walk up to where the stalls are. And I got done running, and I was walking up the hill, and she got scared of some wagons that were coming down the thing, and she took off and literally dragged me up the hill, because it was a city street at the top that you had to cross to get across. But she just had that wow personality. Everything was intense and over the top with her all the time. In 2015, I think it was, in Calgary, slipped, and she didn't fracture hock, but her joints basically had a compression. They took a compression hit, and it messed with her cartilage, and I took her to Littleton to the vet and was there with her, and they gave her a 20% chance to come back ever, which was devastating for me, because the cool thing about Rudy is she was so tough. I had a few other horses help me out over the years, but she was really the one that did everything, and they gave her a 20% chance to come back, and the following season she came back, and we did the first year, the ERA when it was going on, and she finished that season in 4th place and went back to winning pro rodeos and still competed. Earlier before this, Bill had asked me a question back there, and I had people ask over the years what I was going to do when Rudy was done, but nobody has really asked me when I was going to retire her. Rudy would never have given up. She would still run today. In fact, last weekend I took her with me on my way home from Texas. She comes with me up north because she hates the heat. She's very opinionated to this day. She gets what she wants. She comes in every night. She goes down to her pasture during the day. But I took her with me to the fraternity last weekend, and it was cool because I had her in the trailer and both of her colts that I'm running, my first two to get to compete on. And when I unloaded her off the trailer at the barrel race, she stood next to the trailer and she was so proud to be there. Like, I think I could have thrown a saddle on her and I know she would have went and ran for me because she loved it that much. She never refused the gate, never did anything crazy. But that question kind of hit me because at the time I didn't know what I was gonna do. It was gonna be one of those things, you know, I did what I did before I had Rudy, before a horse like that came along. And I guess for me, she won second in 2017. She was still winning rodeos, and she won second at the Rapid City Stock Show at the age of 17, 2 years after being told she possibly would never compete again. Her very last rodeo run was in March of 2017 in Lubbock, Texas. If I could look back at it right now, probably not the last rodeo I ever wanted to run Rudy at, but it was one of those things where I knew once I got off her, I wouldn't be getting back on her. After that rodeo, she hurt her deep digital flexor tendon out in the pasture during breeding season, and that was the point for me where I was like, you know, she accomplished everything she could accomplish. She was the first horse from North Dakota to make it to the NFR. She got me to the NFR, achieved lifelong goals. Tough as nails, she was gonna run as long as I let her because she loved it. So I have not been back on her since then. So Rudy's retired sound at 22, and this is another first. She's the first performance horse to get inducted, which is amazing, and thank you all.
You know, it's truly amazing how a human being can connect with an animal and leave the rest of us in awe and wonderment. That's the feeling I get when I hear the relationship between Rudy Dasher Dude and Brittany Diaz. Brittany, thank you for sharing that emotionally charged acceptance speech, as Rudy Dasher Dude is the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week this week, brought to you by Torgerson Auto Center. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to bring you the Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week. Here at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, we honor the champions of the past and support the champions of the future. That segment is coming up on Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
Hey, we're looking for ideas for our next commercial. Thoughts?
We have a fully stocked lot. Cars, trucks, SUVs.
Clearly.
We strive for honesty, transparency, and a better buying experience.
Of course we do. Guys, think, everybody's busy. Nobody has time to spend hours shopping for a car. Has to be simple, easy.
Sales, service, simplified.
Perfect. Torgerson Auto Center, East Bismarck Expressway. Sales, service, simplified.
Unique gifts, an assortment of beautiful jewelry, and much more can be found at Dakota Territory Jewelry and Gifts in Medora. Montana silver necklaces and earrings, Black Hills gold and sterling silver jewelry, many Native American made pieces too, and a selection of art pieces. They carry healthy products made right here in North Dakota, and to satisfy your sweet tooth, fall in love with the best fudge around and the freshest taffy made right in the store. Buy it by the pound in a variety of flavors. Dakota Territory Jewelry and Gifts in historic Medora. Wild Bill here for Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic of Dickinson. Recently, I tore my meniscus, and after an MRI, doctors gave me 3 options: prescription meds, reoccurring injections, or surgery, which wasn't guaranteed to rid me of the pain. Then someone suggested I try soft wave therapy. Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic of Dickinson are skilled in this innovative treatment. After a few treatments, my pain went from an 8 down to a 1. See if soft wave therapy is right for you. Contact Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic today. Medora Boot and Western Wear, open year-round in historic Medora. You'll find quality items for cowboys and cowgirls of all ages. Medora Boot and Western Wear has over 1,500 pair of boots on hand at all times. New this year, the R. Watson brand of boot, featuring an all-leather heel, riveted shank, and a 10-iron leather sole. Jeans, shirts, hats, caps, and more, and customer service is #1. Medora Boot and Western Wear in historic Medora.
Medora Boot and Western Wear. Hi, my name is Jeff Gould. I have a story called America's Story. I'm going to be doing it Valley City on October 20th. It's the East Greets West North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame fundraiser, and I hope you can make it. It's going to be a great time.
We'll begin at 5 p.m. on October 20th with a social dinner and a lively auction right after Jeff Gould presents America's Story. Tickets available now at NorthDakotaCowboy.org. East Greets West with the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, October 20th at the Valley City, North Dakota Eagles Club.
Brad Germanson Extreme Bronc Riding, the greatest bronc riding event ever, is coming to Forebears. Join us for 2 days of unparalleled action and excitement in this PRCA sanctioned event, October 6th and 7th. After each night of bronc action, there will be free live entertainment in the Pocket Aces Lounge. And don't forget to visit the Forebears Sportsbook, where you can place bets on all the action. Tickets on sale now at forebearscasino.com or purchase at the gate. Extreme Bronc Riding and Sportsbook betting at Forebears.
Securian Financial Advisors of North Dakota is now Lux Wealth Advisors. In our current climate, planning for retirement can be scary. Let the experienced advisors at Lux Wealth Advisors take the worry out of wealth planning. Lux Wealth Advisors can work with anyone, from those looking to invest their first dollar to those transitioning into retirement. Let Lux Wealth Advisors be your guide. Lux Wealth Advisors, new name, same great service.
And welcome back to Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. It's time now for the Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week. This is our Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week. This week, the honor goes to 13-year-old JC Johnson from Newtown. JC is an 8th grader at Stanley Public School and is the daughter of Kyle and Bobby Johnson. JC qualified for the National Junior High Finals Rodeo in Perry, Georgia this summer in the pole bending. She also recently won the barrel racing at the last North Dakota Junior High Fall Rodeo in Richardson. She also competes in basketball, volleyball, is involved in 4-H, and is an event director in junior high rodeo. She ropes, goat ties, and competes with grin and grip. JC Johnson of Newtown is our Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week. Congratulations! Congratulations, JC, and keep up the great work. We're proud of you. If you know somebody that should be nominated for the Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week, send an email along with some photos, some videos, a biography, and all the information you can to DakotaCowboy@BeckNews.com, and they could be featured on an upcoming episode of Dakota Cowboy. On behalf of Tisa Peak, I'm Wild Bill. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week with a brand new episode of Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. We'll see you in the future, if not in the pasture. Adios!
Brad Germanson Extreme Bronc Riding, the greatest bronc riding event ever, is coming to Forebears. Join us for 2 days of unparalleled action and excitement in this PRCA sanctioned event, October 6th and 7th. After each night of bronc action, there will be free live entertainment in the Pocket Aces Lounge. And don't forget to visit the Forebears Sportsbook, where you can place bets on all the action. Tickets on sale now at forebearscasino.com or purchase at the gate. Extreme Bronc Riding and Sportsbook betting at Forebears.
We are rewriting Hollywood script for our kids. I'm pop culture expert Tina Griffin, and as a former Hollywood actress, I'm giving you a behind-the-scenes look at how today's entertainment is eroding the foundational development of America's youth and how to safely navigate this pop culture chaos. Knowledge is power. Parents want solutions. It's time to get the power back in your hands and reclaim the right to decide who and what should influence your kids.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Central Time on Beck TV.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I'm a 6th generation farmer, husband, patriot, father. And as much as I'd love to just sit here under this shade tree and celebrate my own place on my front porch, truth of the matter is that people don't know who, where, and how is producing their food. So travel the country with Trent on the loose, and we'll find those interesting human interest stories behind the people that bring us the efficient food supply. Trent on the loose.